Hey everyone, I'm Leo from Western Washington University. Hope everyone's doing well, first of all, given the circumstances. But nonetheless, we're really happy to be here this morning, at least for us on the West Coast. And with that, let's get started. All right, so there are five of us on the team. We're all part of the Western Washington University Institute for Energy Studies. It's one of the five dedicated energy programs in the United States. And we are Alex, Leo, which is me, Brittany, Andrew, and Ryan.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'll be going over a very brief look at our system overview. So our system consists of 9 rooftop systems, 1 carport system, and 1 ground-mounted system. We have just over 33,000 panels, and all of the inverters are the same for those. And we have a total system capacity of just over 11,000 kilowatts, with an annual production of a little under 13.5 million kilowatt hours. So here's a bird's eye view of our rooftop systems. Again, I mentioned that we chose 9 rooftops. Some of those systems include the Neuer Complex, the Whittinger Business Building, and the library. In total, the 9 systems have a system capacity of around 3,000 kilowatts and a yearly production of around 3.5 million kilowatt hours. Our carport system is located just south of the Neuer Complex in the parking lot just south of the Neuer Complex, and it has a system capacity of just over 340 kilowatt and a yearly production of just over 400,000 kilowatt hours. And here's our ground mount system. We chose to utilize the field that is located just north of campus, and it comprises around 25,000 panels. It has a capacity of 8.3 megawatts, and it has a yearly production of just over 10 million kilowatt hours. Just a quick note here on our distribution system impact analysis. Unfortunately, we were unable to properly model our systems in OpenDSS. We experienced a few teething issues just trying to get the system to work properly for us. We did talk to an electrical engineering professor, and he told us that there was not enough data to do a powerful model correctly on OpenDSS.
All right, hey, Leo, back again to talk about financial analysis. All right, so sizing is important because you want to find a good balance between like a generating equipment costs, system energy loading, and battery capacity, and also things like capital costs, O&M costs, and certain externalities, which in this case are greenhouse gas emissions. So this is why we decided to spend a little more in capital costs, because this would result in fewer greenhouse gas emissions from things like better generating equipment, and also our 2 megawatt battery, which would be sized using re-op light, and with about a 5% discount rate. So here's a quick breakdown of the cost of our system. Generating equipment came in at about 4.2 million. This includes the cost of the panels, inverters, and also our 2 megawatt battery. The balance of system is about 6.1 million, and this includes everything except the PV panels themselves. Interconnection development costs both about 1 million, and financing costs is about 366,000. And our LCOE is about 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour, which is 1 cent lower than the average cost of electricity in the state of Indiana. And also our 20-year MPV is $31,266.
Okay, hi, I'm Alex. I'm going to run us through the development plan real quick. So location suitability analysis. You're not going to put panels on a building where the roof is too obstructed or you're not getting enough sunlight throughout the day. Thankfully, Ball State, all the roofs that we looked at, like we said, we chose 9 of them because BSU did have that open space. They did have that unobstructed, like 12 hours of sunlight a day moving through. And thankfully, Ball State is actually ahead of the curve with on-campus renewable energy production. And so having the substation close to campus reduces any transmission losses. Then the estimated construction timeline. Note, this is a bit optimistic, but we figured that with a system of this size, with that comes significance. And with significance comes enthusiasm. And so with something like this, we figured that a lot of the processes could happen simultaneously. You could jump on a few of them at the same time. With it being on the short side as well, we don't expect it to take too significantly longer.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew, and I'm going to talk about our optimization strategy and what the system can do beyond power production. So for our optimization strategy, we wanted to design it to maximize both its peak shaving potential and its greenhouse gas offsets. In addition to this, we wanted to enhance the system reliability and optimization through the use of smart meter data collection and using that data to continually optimize the system. As you can kind of tell from the graph, our system reaches its peak in terms of percentage of consumption offset in April at 28%. And like most PV systems, its peak production is in the summer and lowest in the winter. So besides just designing a PV system, we wanted to think about what the system could do beyond producing power. To do this, we looked at Ball State's fundamental principles, and these include seeking alternative practices to minimize negative environmental impacts, protecting biodiversity and serving as a living laboratory, and taking into account the social, economic, and environmental impacts of its operational policies. So in response to these policies, we have some recommendations for the university. For alternative practices, we recommend converting the university's equipment to high efficiency electric equipment that can be charged by the in-place battery storage system that's being constructed with our PV system. And you can also avoid land alteration and foster the growth of native species. So examples of these include converting to electric lawnmowers and the practice of avoiding mowing large areas that could be left untouched. In response to serving as a living lab, we recommend implementing a interactive energy dashboard. This can be modeled after the one that's here currently at Western Washington University, which allows anyone to view the university's energy use both in natural gas and electricity for all of its buildings. And you can do that over multiple time horizons. And there's a bunch of settings in there that you can fiddle around with and see what's going on at the university. This will make the PV system interactive and give it a public face. We also recommend that all future equipment purchases should be electric. Finally, we recommend implementing LED technology, increasing weatherization and retrofitting other older buildings, and using smart meters across campus. Most importantly, the PV system has the potential to provide a place for interactive learning and tours for the public. This would be a wonderful opportunity for younger people interested in getting into the renewable energy sector as a career and serve as an example for the advantages of PV systems.
And lastly, we wanted to touch on the architecture building. So the architecture building on campus obviously houses the School of Architecture at Ball State. And I mean, it's one of the most comprehensive programs in the country. And so because of that, after considering it for the past like 6 months, we decided to leave it as is for the most part. The building has a bunch of awesome features we would prefer to just celebrate in the first place. If we did make any suggestions, it would be perhaps including a living wall or a rain garden. Ball State might already have that, but obviously we couldn't be there to go double check. The only other thing was putting some panels on top as well and just trying to complete the cycle of integrating itself into nature and reducing the impact.
All right, everyone, that concludes our presentation. Thanks for tuning in. I'd like to thank NREL and the DOE for organizing this competition. It's been fun, a lot of hard work over the past many months. I'd also like to thank our judges and also, of course, Ball State University. And with that, we're going to open it up to questions.